Who would be on your jobber Mount Rushmore and why? Which jobbers were actually capable, good talent? And who were your favorite jobbers to book in squash matches?
Oh my God. We have to preface by saying we're not trying to insult, because a lot of time you call a guy a jobber, it's an insult, right? But some of the guys have made peace with the fact that they were able to transcend what they might have done by actually being labeled the greatest jobbers. They instead of, and it's a weird thing, but George South, obviously, everybody in the Carolinas, everybody thinks that Georgia, he was a jobber, or as they used to call them in the business, carpenters, because they couldn't draw you a house, but they'd help build you one. Right. The job guys, George South just never got a push in a territory where he was allowed to win more than he lost. So therefore, he pretty much became a job guy in terms of the classification of the business. But at the same time, he was the guy that, like Flair, wanted to have to tear the house down with and go 10 minutes. And everybody liked to work with because he was a great worker. And Mike Jackson's another guy that now he's, he didn't have enough size for what, was needed back in those days. But now he's fucking almost 70 years old. He's still doing dives out of the ring and doing the rope walk and everything. And his shit's, he just knows what he's doing. And obviously the superstars of jobberdom in the 80s was the Monkees, who took such a classic ass whipping despite looking so fucking, Bill was positively frail, and I love them both, and I see him in Charlotte at the reunion and everything from time to time. But Bill was frail, and Randy was undernourished, let's say. But it was so convincing what they were doing themselves, because they were goddamn just killing themselves, that they got over that way. But if they'd done the same thing, but they looked like they could whip somebody, it wouldn't have got over. People just say, oh, they took the hard bumps, but no, that look, if that was an underdog tag team, if ever there was one. So, with guys like that, Barry Horowitz at one time.
Yeah.
He was in that category. But Barry was such a great polished worker, but he got pushed a few places. He got pushed in Florida a time or two, and even the losing streak was a push. So, but, for guys that just made names for themselves by just losing on TV most of the time, that's, that would be my Mount Rushmore.
I would add Frankie Williams to that list.
Well, and there you go. And there was a local, Jake the Milkman Milliman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In the AWA, there was always the local guy that just had been there forever. And, so you could, whatever territory you grew up with, just replace your local guy on the end.